Good, this is your boy Shaka252 bringing you another video. Today's video, I'm gonna discuss like if you're in the market for a SRT, whether it's a Challenger or a Charger. Like if you're trying to decide if you want to go with, just like, you know, kind of the position that I was in. Originally it was Hellcat. Before I saw the price of a Hellcat, that's when I kind of, you know, I came back to earth a little bit, and it was more or less like reality, like, okay, do what you can afford. I said that in an older video, do what you can afford. So basically that narrowed it down to the Scat Pack, the Daytona, and the SRT. Those three vehicles those three brands I just named, they all have the same motor in it. If you don't like it, whatever. I'm discussing is what they call the bang for your buck, I guess. Reason why I chose the Scat Pack, in my mind I was thinking, I was like, why would I? Okay, I have a Scat Pack. You have a Scat Pack. That's the cheapest, you know what I mean? It's the cheapest out of the three, but they still have the same engine, do the same exact thing. The only thing is that name, and you know, it's the Scat Pack. And then you have the Daytonas. Y'all know you have the 5.7 and you have the 6.4 Daytonas, but I'm just speaking in regards to the 6.4 liter. You're talking 10, 15, maybe even $20,000 more than the Scat Pack. Then you got the SRT that could possibly be that same price or a little bit more. Why would I pay 55 G's for a SRT when I could pay 33 grand for a Scat Pack that has the same exact engine? Mind you, I get it. I know the SRTs have the adaptive suspension. I think that's all well and good, but I mean, me personally, I just wanted a motor. You know what I mean? It's like I wanted the engine, and that's what I got, and it made more sense. But basically, I'm just making a video saying it's your preference. It's what makes sense, and do what you can afford. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowing that if you get either a Scat Pack, a Daytona 6.4 liter, or a SRT, you're pretty much, you have to think like it's not just. I know a lot of people, you know, hit me up. They send me messages even on YouTube, but they also send me DM messages and on Instagram, and they ask me like, hey, how much you pay? Like, what do you do for a living and what do you pay? That's half the battle, because when you get a car like this, first off, you got to think after the fact. When you get this type of car, you know what comes with it. That's insurance, and putting gas in these thirsty damn engines. You know what I'm saying? Putting gas in it. Then you got to live. You got your regular mortgage or your rent. You got your light bills. You got water bill. You got cable bill. You got phone bill. You got whatever you're paying. You got all your other regular bills that you have to account for. So in my position personally, in order for me to avoid eating oodles and noodles for dinner, it made more sense for me to get the Scat Pack, which was a lot more affordable than the Daytona 6.4. And shouts out to all my Daytona 6.4 owners at Fast Fit Entertainment. Shout out to the homie. And 392 Horseplay, what's up, man? And USS Too Fast. That's basically shouts out to you guys for having those deep pockets to afford that. But like I said, it's a personal preference in regards to, it's not just what you want, it's also what you can afford. And like I said, I was I wasn't really hip to the game. All I knew was, and at the very, very, very beginning, I was like SRT8. That's all I knew. It was a SRT8. I got to get an SRT8. And when my boy Stoddard, Nate Stoddard, I was in the army with him or whatever, and I told him I was looking for a SRT8, and he was like, well, why would you get an SRT8 when you can just get a Scat pack? And that was when it was like, he opened my eyes, man. Like, I went on YouTube. Sure enough, when all else fails, you need to research something, bump Google, man. Go to YouTube. You'll see it live action. So that's when I went to YouTube, and it was Work Play Drive up there. It was Hemi Fam. It was RP Productions, SRT Mush, man. I was like, oh my God, like, where have I been? I almost got an SRT8. I almost bought an all white 2012 or 2013 SRT8 Charger. That thing was clean as hell though, but basically when I saw those videos, I instantly wanted a freaking Hellcat. I was like, man, I watched every, that's how I was. Like I told you, man, on my older videos, I was probably the second or third subscriber for Tall Guy Car Reviews. And shouts out to the homie Tall Guy Car Reviews. He was another, because he was so humble and real. Like, he was like, man, I was broke before and I had low credit and I got this car. Like, I'm like, damn. Like, I used to sit up all freaking night watching his damn videos. When his first video was how much it cost to fill up the Hellcat, I think. And I still remember that. I watched that video and I was like, man, I got to get a Hellcat. I'm pricing these Hellcats, and even a used Hellcat at that time was about 50. The cheapest one I saw was like $54,000 or $55,000. It was a jazz blue Challenger Hellcat with the chrome wheels on it and the peanut butter seats. And I wanted it, but I sat down and did the math, and I was like, oh crap, like, this is freaking gonna be like a damn mortgage paying every month. So, and the other realistic part was having to look at my credit score. Like, it's all well and good, you know, a man can only dream to have a Hellcat, a really nice car like that, but you gotta build your foundation to get it, you know what I mean? So that's why check out my older videos, man. I was nowhere near getting a Hellcat, or I probably couldn't even have gotten a RT, you know what I mean, a 5.7 liter Charger or Challenger if I wanted to, because my score wasn't high enough. My credit wasn't as solid as it should have been. So for a year and a half, I kept studying. So basically, that's what I'm saying. If you're still in the market to trade up, I think my homie Magnum Dubstep, I think he hit me up saying, I think he was talking about trading in to trying to get a Scat pack or something. Do your research. If you're in the market for a SRT, and I will never ever knock the 5.7 liters. I mean, because to have a Hemi, period, you're ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? You could dust off people real quick for those red lights. You know what I'm saying? Somebody trying to test you. It's too easy to do it. And shouts out to RT Life as well. And he's a prime example of, like, he to me, he's a god for the 5.7 liter owners, because he shows that 5.7 liters are a contender out here. And I support that 100%, you know what I mean? Because it's a difference between 5.7s and 6.4s, but they aren't a slacker by no means, you know what I'm saying? So, but basically, getting back to what I was saying before, figuring out before you even, if you want to get, if you're in the market for a 392 and you're looking at a Scat pack, a Daytona, or a SRT, find out, you know, which one is the one that you want. Figure out the one that you want, then write that down and write down how much it costs, whether if you want to get it brand new or used. Write down that number, Then I want you to go to Credit Karma. Real talk. Go to Credit Karma. Create a profile on Credit Karma. Credit Karma will tell you what your debt to income ratio is. You know what I'm saying? So, and it shows you like your credit utilization. That's where I started. That's where my homework started, was Credit Karma. So basically, you have to take a look at your credit score to see if you're even able to qualify for a loan to get a car. Because I wanted a Hellcat, but if I had applied for it at that time, they probably would have offered me a Chrysler 200 at the time, a used one. Yeah, that's how bad it was. So with your research, get your credit type. Find out what's on your credit. If it's not yours, if it's something up there you have no idea where it came from, dispute it to the max. I actually came across a guy that lives in North Carolina. He actually, I forgot to mention this, hard inquiries. If you let a dealership shotgun blast your credit report, like your credit, if you're trying to apply for a car, like I was a dummy and did before back in the day, if they blast your credit score to, just say, 25 companies and one takes a bite on it, all 25 of those hard inquiries, including the one that approved you, will go as a hard inquiry on your report, and each one will deduct a few points off of your score, and it will drag your score in the mud. And that's what I got caught up in. So basically, my homeboy Corey Graves, shouts out to Corey Graves. Corey put me on to this company that, you know, they say they fix credit, but it wasn't really. I'll say yes, he did fix my credit. Anthony Noel, I think. Basically, what Anthony did for me was he disputed a lot of those hard inquiries that I had. A lot of them fell off. He ended up knocking off, I'll say 90% of the hard inquiries. He knocked off 90% of the hard inquiries. I got a credit card, and I managed it for a year and a half, and I set up a profile on self-help. I'm not self-help. I'm sorry, self-lender, selflender.com. I set up a program for self-lender, and with those three things combined, my score took off. Like I went from here to here, and I mean, my score was going up, and I was getting super anxious. I was like, man, I could go get that car right now. I was like, nope, don't do it. And so I didn't. I stayed true to the craft, perfecting. I wanted my score to get up. I wanted to hit those sevens. My goal was to hit sevens, and I stuck with it for a year and a half, and I ended up getting it. Then the other thing is, you got to make sure you can afford it. Just because you're credit, then once you master that, you get your score tight, the battle is not over. You got to make sure you can afford that damn thing. And that's what they're going to look at, your income. At the time, I was not working. I was only going to school. I was at the University of Louisville, and it was, did I just graduate? I think I just graduated from the University of Louisville, go Cards, and I had to find a job. I was like, I can do this, but I have to find a job. And then my buddy, one of my good buddies that I was in the Army with, Greatheart, my boy Arnie Greatheart, shouts out to Arnie. Arnie put me on and got me on at the job that I'm at right now. So that put me ahead of the curve. So as soon as that was a blessing for me to get the job. And as soon as I got that income rolling, I made sure I liked the job, and I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna be here for a while. So I pulled the trigger and I did it, man. I went ahead and applied. I mentioned it before. Do not let the dealership shotgun blast your credit everywhere. Find a credit union, not a bank, but a credit union, to apply for a new car loan, and pretty much have a plan on what kind of car you want. because they're gonna ask you, they're gonna say, even if you do it online, they're gonna ask you, do you know what kind of car you're looking for? What's the name of the dealership or anything like that? So I went for it. They offered me X amount of dollars. I went searching where I was gonna get the car from. It was a Scat Pack Charger. It was all black, fully loaded, but they were letting people test drive it. And I beat the hell out of it. Angel beat the hell out of it. So I'm like, damn, if I beat the hell out of it on this test drive, I'm pretty sure the first 10 people before me did the same thing. So anyway, that didn't work out. And I came across Steve White Motors in Hickory, North Carolina. And I texted him. I was like, hey man, I'm in the market for this car. This is what I want. I was like, I want a Scat Pack. And I want it black. I want an all black Scat Pack. I see your price online. What's up? I'm like, I live in Kentucky. I'm from North Carolina, but I'm 7.5 hours away. And I do not want to drive 7.5 hours just for you to add $8,000 to the price. At the time it was Brian Meeks. Brian Meeks replied back to me and he said, I promise you the price will come down from where it is. And it was already discounted from the MSRP of $43,000. Sure enough, like I said before, time and time again on my videos, by the time I basically bought this car through text message. At the end of the day, before they added North Carolina taxes, my car came up to 28. Oh man, I need to get the paperwork. It came up to 28.5, and when they added taxes, I may hit right at 31 grand even, minus give or take a few dollars, but basically it was 31,000 with the taxes added on. So sure enough, I basically got this car at a steal. I don't even think this car had 5 miles on it when I got it, so I basically got a brand spanking new Scat Pack for 31. But that's pretty much all I got. I was just throwing this out there. I tried to throw this out there as a video of, trying to make that determination of what if the Scat Pack is truly the better bang for the buck, as far as what you get. And I'm gonna say I'll say yes, not because I'm biased because I have one, but I'm gonna say this car does the same exact thing as a Daytona 6.4 liter, as well as a SRT. But of course, you already know the little tiny specific things that are different, like the flat bottom steering wheel, adaptive suspension, the chrome wheels, you know what I mean? And the performance pages. SRT has the performance pages, but see, those little things, me personally, it doesn't matter. I could care less. But at the end of the day, you could have that flat bottom steering wheel, you could have those performance pages, but guess what? I got a Taser and my steering wheel works just fine. And if we lined up side by side, we would damn near have the same time, 0 to 60 or racing or however the case may be. So if you want the motor, get the motor and pay less so you have more money in your pocket, so you won't have to eat oodles and noodles every night just to look outside and be like, damn, I got a Scat Pack, but I can't even eat. I gotta put gas in the car. Don't be that guy. But that's all I got. If you haven't already, please comment, good or bad. Subscribe, like, hit that little bell. Just tap that little bell and you'll get a notification of anytime I drop videos. I'm gonna try to start dropping videos more often. I have been super busy, haven't been able to drop videos, but it's the weekend and I'm trying to throw out some videos. And yes, I am still working on the freaking giveaway, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I am going to give away. And like I said, I want to do multiple giveaways all at once, you know what I mean, to take care of my subscribers, you know what I mean. I don't want it just to be one person, and I'm at like 806, I think. Still trying to hit 1,000. But like I said, that's all I got. Y'all stay true, and I'll holler at you. Peace.